In this video, I'll be going over a complete Shopify homepage masterclass and teach you how to build pages, homepages specifically, that convert cold traffic into paying customers. This is a guide for 2025, but also 2026 and moving forward, based on analysis of hundreds of high converting homepages for 6, 7, 8-figure brands that we've studied and also built for 6, 7, 8-figure brands as well. So first, I'm going to be going over some basics, going over sections that contribute to an effective homepage. I'll be showing you examples of homepages that we've done, we've strategized, designed, and built ourselves for various e-com brands. And then I'll go through other frameworks, more tactics like your imagery, your offers, and stuff like that. But first, let's go over the strategic foundation and let's go over the objectives of your homepage. The goal of the homepage is not to be a brochure. It's strategically there as a navigator and engine that helps communicate your offer and build trust first and foremost. So to define the specific outcome for the specific avatar, how you achieve that with a unique mechanism, and provide proof to build that trust. And then secondly is to ultimately to drive that warm traffic to the product pages for conversion. You want to showcase bestsellers, create a clear navigation and sitemap, and remove any decision paralysis. Ultimately, when it comes to building trust and shifting beliefs, and then therefore shifting actions, every shopper, before they turn into a customer, must have these beliefs validated. First is they have to believe that they have this problem. Second, to believe that this product or your product can solve it. To believe that this product is for someone like them, that they actually believe that it'll work for them. And the last is that there's no risk in trying it. And there's a quick little tip. I know that we're moving into Black Friday, Cyber Monday soon. So just really make sure to maximize your urgency and the value of your offer during this time. You want to be clear with your wording as far as your offer, and then just instill urgency for them to take immediate action, basically. So I'll be going over quickly the 7 basic sections of a high performing, high converting homepage. This is the optimal flow, and you don't need all of these. I'll be going over some wireframes, some templates as well, something like this, just to show you basic templates of homepages. But let's go through these sections first. So the hero section, this is the first section that you see when you hop on a website, the hero section. This is the section that 100% of all viewers will see because it's the first thing that they see. Regardless if they bounce or they scroll a little bit, the hero, above the fold section, is the one section that every single person that loads your page will see. So it's incredibly important to really dial this down. And in this section, you want to immediately communicate your brand, what it does, who it does it for, how it does it, and plant seeds to build that trust. So being hyper specific on your headline, like specific in your messaging. One common mistake that we'll get into is that brands like to be clever and vague or sound cool, but it doesn't really do anything for the consumer. So you want to be specific with that. And I'll provide headline formulas as well. Social proof, and then a nice action-based call to action. Second is going to be your product blocks. So strategic selection of your best sellers, something like this, just to showcase your highest converting products, the ones that resonate with your customers the most, right? Products that convert the best are typically the ones that sell the most, and therefore the ones that your customers are seeking and gravitating towards. So that's the one that you should be to yourself be gravitating towards, and then double down on that and present it initially versus anything else. Hope that makes sense. So this is an example of your product grid right here. Basic imagery, review count, product title, pricing, and maybe even sub headlines that help differentiate different products. And then doesn't have to be add to cart. I actually recommend going straight to the product page and having this entire section clickable, including the image, including the text and all that. And don't add to cart, go straight to shop. Instead of add to cart, make it like a shop now, basically. Collection blocks, number 3. This is the pretty much same thing as product blocks, but collection. So this is for if you have multiple products within a category. You can break it up by solution, by needs, categories, collection, doesn't matter, but just a group of products. And product category blocks serve as different navigation points based on your brand, of course, right? So maybe you're selling skincare and you have a bunch of different product lines, and having an easy way to differentiate products and kind of help your shopper navigate to the right product for them. You can use something like this. shop by need or shop by problem, shop by solution, and then have the different product categories available there as well. And then another quick example would just be something like this. Just instead of product blocks, you'll just have the category collection blocks there. Super simple. Number 4 is going to be your social proof. This is trust factors, before and afters, reviews, customer reviews, testimonials, anything that you can showcase to build trust and credibility. That's it. There's a lot of brands ultimately selling the same product, saying the same things. You must leverage your customers to be salesmen for you, because they're the ones that are most closest to your target avatar, to your ideal customer. Your past customers are much closer to them than you are to them, if that makes sense. So you want to leverage your past customers because they're going to use the exact words. They're going to have the same exact, or they had the same exact problems. And your shoppers, your visitors want your past customers' results and solution that they've experienced with your product. So leverage that and provide as much social proof as possible. We'll get into that later as well. Number 5 is just basic value propositions. So things that differentiate your brand. If you have a unique mechanism, if you have a specific ingredient, a feature, anything that sets your brand, your product as different than other people. So this coincides with number 6, mechanism and outcome. Explain how your product is uniquely different, but also effective. Number 7 is a final CTA and trust factors. So anything like newsletters, FAQ, guarantees, stuff like that. Cool. So let's go over these basic wireframe templates one more time. There's 2 or 3, I guess, types of homepage that I kind of like to think of when it comes to just what homepage is right for you, basically. And it depends on how many products you have, and it depends on if you have any hero product, like bestseller products, if you have multiple collections, categories, all that. So the first one that we went over here is going to be a basic homepage design or a wireframe for brands that have anywhere between like 2, 3 to 6 products total, where in this case you would show your top products. It doesn't have to be 4, it doesn't have to be 3, it could be 1, it could be 2, but basically showing your bestsellers, then talking about providing any social proof, categories, brand USP points, right? Brand value, and then a footer. This is a really simple, basic homepage. Another example is this, just another variation of it, but the core of it is the same. We're communicating your brand USP, right? Which is the number 1 objective. Communicate, offer, and build trust. You do that with the hero section. You do that with like founder stories, customer testimonials, brand USPs, any unique mechanisms, all that. And then drive traffic to product pages. We do that with these category blocks as well as these product blocks that get them further down the funnel, which is from your homepage to your collection pages to your product pages, and that the product pages are where the sale happens. That's the ultimate goal. These 2 are here. This one right here is mainly for brands that have many products. So if you want to kind of clean up the navigation of presenting categories first, you can do that as well. We have many examples that I will show you that have a similar setup to this. And then the last type is for single product or hero product brand. So same thing with hero section, right? You're always focusing on USP and communicating a specific claim, headline, message matching with a specific ad, whatever the case may be. We have brand value highlights that communicate brand USPs, like, right, the unique mechanism, just introducing, talking about your brand. Here's another section for that, social proof, and then a product buy box. I always recommend having product buy boxes if you have one main product, and to have product buy box in your homepage, just to give your shoppers the ability, the option to purchase directly on your homepage without having to go to a product page or sales page. And this again is for brands that specifically have one main offer or one main product that they want to push. And you can see from this layout, it kind of feels like a landing page, and that's ultimately what a homepages are. But the goal of it is just to get them further down the funnel, and ultimately that's what a landing pages do, right? So the goal here is to get them to purchase directly there. Or we can also drive all of these call to action buttons to the product page, from the homepage here to the product page. I know I'm saying a lot, but I hope this makes sense. Basically, what I'm saying is if you have one main product, you can shift it in a way where you focus on that one main offer, one main product. And if anything, we could even bring this section all the way up here. The order of sections are arbitrary and should and always be tested. So don't worry specifically about that. This buy box could easily be up here right below the hero section. That's not a problem. It's just typically we like to educate exactly what the product is, how it helps, and find alignment there before we present the offer. But again, I will show you various examples. Oh, by the way, guys, if you are running a 6, 7, 8-figure Shopify brand and you're looking for custom landing pages built by my team, I'm going to leave a link in the description below to book a call. We've worked with hundreds of different brands. We have built 400 plus pages at this point. All this is going to be available. Go to the description, book a call with me, and we'll see if we can help you out. So we went over the different sections, right? We went over the hero section, the product collection buy box or the blocks, social proof, and then the value props and features, benefits, and all that. So real quick, before we get into me showing you a bunch of different examples, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 examples of actual homepages that we've built. But let me go over 5 mistakes that I see most brands make with their homepages specifically. And this is one that I hinted at before. Number 1 is generic, vague, or clever messaging. The problem here is that most brands use headlines like world's best skincare or premium quality products. And ultimately it sounds great, but it's so generic that any brand can use it. And that's not what you want to do, especially in e-commerce, DTC. There's so much competition, there's so much noise, is you need to cut through that noise with specificity and relevance. So the examples of what not to do, using words like revolutionizing, premium, lifestyle, quality you can trust, innovation, like this means nothing because every brand says it just sound fancy to sound cool because it sounds cool, but it doesn't mean anything. So what you want to do instead is be hyper specific. Here's a really easy example. Have some sort of specific outcome, what you're promising your ideal audience, then communicate who it's for and how it works. Here's an example. Instead of saying premium skincare for everyone, too broad, too generic, doesn't mean anything. Instead, the 30-second morning routine that erases wrinkles for women over 40. This has multiple things. We are targeting who it's for. So women who are over 40 will feel connected to this because we're calling them directly out. We know what it does, which is erasing wrinkles, which is a fairly common problem for women over 40, things that they want to fix. And then we also communicate how, a 30-second morning routine. So ultimately, that's what I'm communicating here. And again, I'll go over another one. Instead of saying revolutionary fitness solution, we'll say build lean muscle in 20 minutes without stepping foot in the gym. This is where we do the same thing. We're communicating what we're doing, building lean muscle in 20 minutes without stepping foot in the gym. Quick implementation. What you want to do is identify your number 1 customer avatar. This is the who. Define the exact outcome they want, not what you want, but what they want. The specific problem that they're facing, they want to solve, and this is the specific outcome. And then add a mechanism or timeline, which is right here of the how. Then the last thing you want to do is test it with the so what test. If someone can say so what, your messaging isn't specific enough. That's ultimately what it comes down to. Mistake number 2 is poor site navigation. Problem that I see consistently is that most brands treat their homepage as, again, like a brochure, and they just throw random stuff in there without really understanding the goal of your homepage. So instead of treating it like a maze or a brochure or like a poster board with no clear path to purchase, we want to fix that. But before I do so, here are a few common problems that I see, like too many options, which leads to analysis paralysis, unclear category names for differentiation. So this leads to poor navigation and guidance. Again, no clear product hierarchy and no guided product selection. All this leads to weak customer experience, basically, shopper experience. The fix, again, is to be hyper specific on who, what, and how, who your ideal customer is, what you can do for them, and how. Showcase your products and offers immediately before the hero. So this is what I mentioned before of like, you could easily showcase your buy box right below the hero. That's not a problem. And in fact, it might actually convert better. Use clear benefit-driven product names. If you can't do so, you can include these little value props, these tags, subheadlines to further differentiate and break down the different products to help your shopper make a quick decision, like a buying decision on what product is right for them, and use grids. Step 3 is ultimately to make the process brainless, right? To guide product selection, to make the process of finding their right product for them as easy as possible. Mistake number 3 is not optimizing for mobile. This is pretty self-explanatory, and it's crazy that a lot of brands don't even do this still yet. They focus on their desktop or tablet and not relentlessly being obsessed with their mobile. So 3 things that you could do real quick today for your mobile, for your homepage mobile, is to use product grids, 2x2 grids. I will show you this example. Instead of using 1x4 or carousel, just stick with 2x2. Have some sort of sticky CTA button. That's also something that we really like. Always having CTA buttons visible. This is more relevant, I would say, for landing pages and product pages, but you can still use it for home pages. If you have a particular collection page or product page that you absolutely want all shoppers to get to, you could do that. And then third is just ultimately just scannable, skimmable content. So keeping headlines short, punchy, using bullet points instead of paragraphs, icons, all that stuff. So load your homepage on your phone, right? A quick audit you can do. Can you understand the value proposition? Like really understand what the brand can do and what it's about in under 3 seconds. Time how long or how many clicks or scrolls it takes to get to the relevant product page. And then third is just check overall readability. Is everything scannable? Is everything easy to read? And yeah, that's it. Number 4 is know no social proof strategy. Again, like we talked about before, is that most brands ultimately sell the same thing, and it's up to you to position and leverage your social proof to build trust at every decision point. So strategically throwing in stuff like your customer count, your star ratings, review counts, proofs from authority, like from any experts, from media, product sections. So adding badges, like notifications like someone in your area just purchased this, testimonials, before and afters, UGC videos, and ultimately just customer success stories with specific results. The more specific you can be, the better. Mistake number 5 is not understanding the purpose of your homepage. This is, again, one of the key mistakes that people make, treating it like a brochure, like a poster board, and not really understanding what the point of their homepage is. It's not a brochure, it's a sales asset for you guys, for your brand, and you must treat your homepage as such. Again, the 2 main goals of your homepage is to communicate your offer, to build trust, and then to drive that traffic to your product pages for conversion. Conversion is number 1 importance, right? So you don't want to neglect that to sound cool, to look good. We are in the game, in the business of converting traffic to customers, right? So what you don't want to include, you can, just from what we've seen, is not necessary. In fact, it sometimes negatively impacts performance. But something like company history, unless it's a very specific, relevant, and valuable founder story, that's the main caveat. But company history, no one cares about that. Generic about us, again, no one cares about that. You can use a dedicated page for that. But again, generic, unemotional stories or even information, people don't care. Showcasing every single product you have in your catalog, right? That creates choice of paralysis. Long form educational content, we don't need that yet. We can have CTAs, buttons that direct traffic to the blog, for example, but this isn't necessary for a homepage. And then again, multiple CTAs competing. So and this is something that is nuanced. If you are directing traffic to a collection page, product page, the blog, all that, that's where you can get away with it. But if you have multiple CTAs that have no hierarchy or structure to them, you're taking the attention away from the primary action that you want them to take, which again goes back to driving traffic to your product pages, right? Does that make sense? So basic hierarchy or structure is going to be your hero, your products or your offer, social proof, value props about the brand, and then a final CTA. That's it. Keep it simple. You only need 5 basic sections. And again, ask the so what test before adding any new section. Ask, does this help communicate our offer? Does this build trust? Does this guide them to a product page? And if they only saw this section, would they still understand our value? And if the answer is no to all 4, remove it. And then the quick implementation is audit every section, remove sections that don't serve you, reorganize remaining section in order of importance, and then add clear CTAs that drive traffic to product pages. Cool. And again, something that we discussed before, 5 beliefs. I have this problem. This product can solve it. This is for someone like me. I believe it'll work for me, and there's no risk in trying it. That's all you need to focus on. Okay, before we get into the product images, I want to quickly show you various examples of homepages that we've done. This is tap water, clear headline, sub-headline, social proof, images, a little offer there, and then it goes right into the product category. And then customer reviews, basic things about the brand, how it works, social proof, and a guarantee section. Super simple, nothing too crazy. Buttons drive traffic to this collection grid where they can go and click on the product and then get to the product page. Super simple, super easy, right? Everything goes straight to the grid right here to focus their attention to get to the product page, right? Second, this is Tallow-born, natural skincare for people who put health first. Super specific, grass-fed tallow, natural oils to protect your skin without the harsh chemicals. Super specific, you can't go wrong with that. Here are some value props here, like made in the USA, skin-friendly formula, no additives, all that. We have the best selling products that we can click to go to their product page. We also built the product pages, but that's not the focus of this video. We also have brand USPs that we talked about before, right? All natural formula, small batch. We have the different collections and then some social proof and then reviews. And these will go to the collection page. Next, we have Healthy Soul. I'll show you mobile for this one. Hormone Healthy Hygiene, handmade with grass-fed tallow to cleanse, nourish, and transform your skin naturally. Super specific, similar to the previous brand. Here, we're going to talk about brand USPs, the Healthy Soul difference, showcase social proof, and then this is where we're going to showcase the products, information on the ingredients, founder story, more social proof, FAQ. Super simple, right? And in this example, we went more heavy on the brand communication before we get to the product page. They have a bunch of landing pages, so it's not as relevant, or this brand is very nuanced, but here's just a different example from what I showed you, where we go really, we're pretty much full sending all the elements that I talked about, right? Like the social proof, proof, communicating value with FAQ. We have a founder story. We have ingredients about or information about the ingredients, right? The mechanism. We have the product grid. We have some more social proof. We have more information about the brand, the products, value, all that. Here's an example from Paleo Pro, supplement brand. For your body the way nature intended, clean, pasture-raised nutrition that supports your gut, joints, and energy. Simple, straightforward. Here is a great example of 4 different product bestsellers, but we have the product title, and then we also have two value prop points, subheadlines that just further describe, educate the shopper about that particular product to give them a subtle introductory to see if that product is relevant for them based on that, right? Let's say you're looking for energy. You'll click on this beef organ complex and then kind of go through that funnel there. Here we have some social proof. We have some collection blocks, more value props, founder story, or just about the company, and then some more value props, and then product grid, guarantee, reviews. Super simple, right? You don't need to overcomplicate this, but you need to be specific in what you do include. You can go simple, but you need to be hyper specific and have solid direction in what you're doing. Then you're able to create something simple with something that performs well. Another example is Rejuve. Stop letting leaks, pressure, and pain control your life. This is for women who have issues with their pelvis, their stomach, and stuff like that. But you can see that specific with what they're solving, right? These are all problems that they're solving for, and they have a main bundle that they're pushing traffic to. But here we have the 3 main products. We have education on the different problems, the solution for each problem, and then providing that ultimate solution, that ultimate bundle available here. This is something that we designed and built in Figma. All of these examples we designed and we built it as well. Quickly run through there. Cool. I'll quickly show you a few more. I'll go really quickly with these. Product grid, specific problems you're solving for, USPs, CTA, green goo. You can see that a lot of these are super similar, right? Because we stick to the basics, the foundation, right? We don't need to reinvent the wheel. We just need to do the basics really well. The last one is right here. Yep. So we have all the sections that we've talked about: hero, product grid, brand value, guarantee, risk reversals, more social proof, and then CTA. Super simple. I hope that helps. Now the last few things I want to go over really quickly. One of them is going to be the product images. This is obviously more specific to your product pages, but one thing I do want to say is throughout these examples, you've seen visuals and graphics that are strategically placed there, and it's for a reason. We need to do a better job ultimately on communicating value in our images. It's not enough to just use plain white background images like this one specifically, for example, because it doesn't communicate any value. In a product grid, that's fine. But in stuff like product pages, that's where we want to improve that. So we have stuff like these product images. Even this, we added little value props right here that communicates some sort of value. Results in 48 hours, 30-day money back guarantee, 1 million plus sold, right? We talk about specific things that it solves for, or rather what it replaces and what it can do. We have specific value prompts, right? I actually really like these product images that we did. I think it's really great. We have customer reviews, information about the ingredients, money back guarantee. So simple. And again, this is a home and product pages that we designed and built. I think it's so solid. So yeah. So because they're so neglected, improving product images is sometimes the greatest single thing you can do, right? Because most brands don't have images like this. But a quick framework, I'll quickly just show you templates. What is your product? What does it do? What are your USPs? What results can you get? How does it work? How is it different? Your best reviews? How has it solved problems? How is it different? Guarantees, risk reversals. Because these are all questions that your shoppers are thinking, and you want to answer those. You want to reverse engineer what your visitors, your shoppers are thinking, and answer those, address those. That way, your shopper feels comfortable, confident enough to purchase. So making sure that you address any questions, concerns, hesitations. Here's an example of a product shot image, problem visualization. So talking about specific value props, features, benefits about it, right? Mechanism, like how it works, results, before and afters, social proof, just customer testimonials, risk reversals or guarantees. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Second, I want to go over offers. This is something that should always be included in your homepage. You essentially, if your offer is good, you want to shout it out to the world and get everyone to hear and know about your offer. And it's all about building offer stacks that create perceived value that exceeds the actual cost. So we want to maximize value to then maximize your conversions, which then will maximize your revenue, and more importantly, your profit margins, and then maximize your bank account. That's the ultimate goal. So let me show you quickly 4 basic offers that you can think of or strategize just to kind of spark some inspiration. First one is going to be the starter bundle. Basically, just take multiple products that are relevant together and package them up and provide some sort of discount or a new fancy word or something and frame it in a way where it's like an all-inclusive solution. This case from Brogo, there's another client of ours. We did a Shark Tank bundle for when they were featured on Shark Tank. And we have the main 3 products, a face tanner, a body tanner, and an application to help them use that product, right? So it's all relevant. It works together. Number 2 is a free gift unlocker. So basically you spend a certain amount and you unlock a specific free gift. I'll actually show you the logic behind this because this is one of my favorite pages. You have 2 stands, you don't unlock this, but you get the 5 and 10 one, you unlock it, right? Super simple. Number 3, simple subscribe and stack, right? Subscribe and save, but we like subscribe and stack, which is to stack up perks, value points, and things that your customer base cares about. Yes, you can provide them discounts for subscribing. That's what every brand does. But you can take it even further by just simply including and talking about different perks that they'll get, like free shipping or exclusive member pricing or skip and cancel anytime, money back guarantees, lock-in promotional pricing, free ebook, free mystery gift, whatever you can do to improve the overall perceived value of the offer of what you're proposing. In this example of Natural Rems, again, this is another client of ours. All these examples I'm showing you are all work that we've done, by the way. But you can see here, if you compare the auto ship and save versus the one-time purchase, they get all of this for subscribing. They get the discount, but they also get everything here for paying less. It's ultimately a no-brainer for them to subscribe versus buy it at one time. Number 4 is just a typical volume deal. This is from a brand called Frey. They sell laundry detergents and just a basic 1 to 4 boxes and then the subscribe and save offer attached to that as well. Super simple, right? You buy more, you save more. Last thing I'll go over is advanced psychology triggers. Ultimately, these are things that the best brands are using, and it's all about framing, it's all about perspective, it's all about how you position your product, your brand to the market. One quick thing will be curiosity driven. So 30-second ritual that makes dermatologists jealous. Identity shift. Number 2, instead of saying buy your supplement, say join the 50,000 blank avatar brackets or high performers who chose our product or who love our product, right? You're not only talking about saying to buy your product, but you're leveraging social proof and just basic human desire to want to fit in and be part of the masses. You can leverage that. Number 3 is a mechanism. So talking about some sort of story, like a discovery, a breakthrough, a unique mechanism, exclusivity, whatever the case may be. Number 4 is scarcity. So limited inventory or sale ends in a specific time, exclusive access. Number 5, social momentum. So the things that we mentioned before of like someone in your area just purchased, Sarah just ordered this, 100 people are viewing this product, 20 people purchased this today, stuff like that, right? And again, it's all about handling objections. And so going back to the 5 main beliefs that we talked about before, this is the last thing I'm going to go over. If they feel like it won't work for me, you need to show them similar customer success stories. If they feel like it's too expensive or it's not worth it, break down the cost per day or the value that they're going to get out of it. If they feel like they try similar things, explain your unique mechanism or your difference, why you're different. I need to think about it, instill urgency, and provide limited time bonuses or something that incentivizes quick action immediately. And then stuff like I should ask my friend or spouse or whatever, just provide that credibility, those trust factors for them to believe what you're saying, regardless of, or despite them having feeling like they have to ask, right? So just to kind of recap everything that we discussed on this video, main goal for homepage: communicate your offer, build trust, drive traffic to product pages, structure in a way that makes sense, that guide shoppers to accomplish these goals and ultimately to convert. Be cognizant of these mistakes that brands make: generic, vague messaging, poor site navigation, not optimizing for mobile, no social proof, and not understanding the purpose of your homepage. We also went over the 5 main beliefs that people need to have or to shift before purchasing. We went over images, offers, and psychological triggers. And then we also went over the different homepage examples as well. So I hope this helped. I hope this gives you some ideas, some reference. You can go back to the different examples that we shared. But yeah, the goal for me in this video is for you to learn at least one thing to take away and apply it to your brand. So I hope this helps. Please like, subscribe, comment if you have any questions, and I'll see you in the next one. All right, peace.